I have returned with your daily dose of all things Outriders news updates. We've got an interesting one today. Check this out. I know a lot of us have been having a ton of problems with our armor and damage mitigation. So check it out. It says Outriders armor has been bugging out, but there's a simple solution, and it's actually a really big discovery in the community, and it should help you out big time. We're going to be talking about this thread right here on how you can actually fix your armor, because it is an actual bug in the game. I kid you not, but it will make you aware of that going forward. Plus, let's talk about this one right here. Outriders player count is dropping, but it's surprisingly healthy overall. So what does this mean exactly? We're going to be diving into this recent article as well. Plus, this is really cool. We have Outriders maximum weapon firepower calculator as well, which will help you, understand your firepower and weapon damage according to whatever gear you have, your level, and that sort of thing. So yeah, we got a lot to talk about in this video, so let's do this. Hey everyone, what's happening? Open World Games here, hope you're doing good, and let's dive into Outriders right now, the latest stuff going on around the community and the news. So Outriders armor, of course, has been the biggest issue. We're going to dive into this thread right now and the article from PC Gamer. Let's do this. So let's scroll down here, shall we? It says, if you've been noticing you're getting absolutely destroyed in Outriders expeditions recently, you're not the only one. Since the latest 1.7 patch dropped last week, the game's been having a bit of an issue with armor and survivability. No kidding. It says, thankfully, one nifty Redditor has figured out a quick fix. It's a fix that's done right by the PC gaming community for years now. Just simply turn your armor off and on again. And it says, well, unequip it and then re-equip it. Redditor Thorkel13 shared the fix after saying they'd become frustrated with how squishy their character appeared to be. So if we go over to the Reddit thread, let's see what he had to say. He says this: so I have been noticing I'm very squishy in several expeditions, and that my damage mitigation has been nearly non-existent, even with defense mods equipped, according to the incoming damage mitigated in the stats at the end. Now, today that changed. In my frustration, I started trying random things to try and help, even if it seemed silly. But before an expedition, I took off all my armor and put it all back on. To my great surprise, I was actually felt much better and was mitigating a noticeable amount of damage as noted in the in-game stats. Not sure if this will work for everyone, but I tested this in at least 10 different runs and then relogged and tried a run without re-equipping my items, and I was squishy all over again. Next run, I went ahead and unequipped, then re-equipped my armor, and my reasonable damage mitigation came back. How weird. That is absolutely ridiculous. Now it goes on to say this: I think my armor was literally not working until I unequipped it and then re-equipped it, because I was literally mitigating at most 10% incoming damage before doing this. After using the fix, I was mitigating around 30 to 40% incoming damage consistently. Please test this out for yourself if you have been struggling with damage mitigation. I think some of the player base has not had this issue at all, but it seems like others may have. I think a lot of people are actually experiencing this issue, considering the complaints. I myself haven't run into it as much, at least I don't think. There are moments where I'm like, why am I dying so quickly? I literally think this is the reason. So give it a try. Let me know if it actually works for you. Plus, it seems like cutscenes also might be triggering some problems as well. So this is something they're going to have to be looking into as well. So check this out right here. This one comes from Ganja, who says this: I haven't been active in the sub at all, but I can confirm cutscenes causes some mods not to work anymore. Specifically for me, I use the anomaly blast of a reloading mod. If I don't swap to a different weapon on the cutscenes where an enemy is introduced climbing over a wall or whatever, the anomaly blast doesn't appear anymore. It is only on the short cinematics. Area transitions and hold to observe things are fine. And Soul Reaver Spectral says this: same problem for me with Scrap Grenade. Think if I reload while it goes into a cutscene, it breaks the mod and have to reset game to fix it. So annoying right at the boss, and this crap happens. So yeah, there are some issues still going on, of course, with Outriders. More patches to be expected, but at the very least, if you're having problems with your armor, your damage mitigation, I really hope that this temporary fix can help you guys out, because I know it's probably one of the biggest discussed things right now within the Outriders community. But let's keep going. This one comes from Forbes. This is the headline right here. It says Outriders player count is dropping, but it's surprisingly healthy overall. Let's talk about and dig into the numbers a little bit more, because yeah, it's normal for any game to have a period where the player base begins dying off little by little, and then it starts sustaining itself at a certain threshold, I guess you would say. So this is what the article had to say. It says, yes, it's true that Outriders player base has dropped significantly since launch, but a month later it's putting up numbers that I would still consider pretty healthy for this genre, especially in a broader context. So where's it at? Here's what we have on Steam, at least via Steam charts. Outriders has dropped from its all-time high near launch of 125,000 to a peak of 28,000 this past Sunday night, almost exactly a month after launch. So yeah, that's pretty good, but how does this actually compare to games like Destiny, Warframes, and of course Square Enix's other title, Marvel's Avengers, which we all know that one was a failure at launch, but let's check it out. It says, that's compared to a peak of 28,000 for Marvel's Avengers players that dropped to a peak of around 3,000 a month after launch. So the low point right now for Outriders is the high point of Marvel's Avengers. Now it says, in present day, that 28,000 peak on Sunday from Outriders compares to a 74,000 peak for Warframe during the same time, and a 56,000 peak for Destiny 2, admittedly at the tail end of the season here. Two of the biggest long-running loot-focused games, which Outriders alleges, it is not trying to compete with, but still, yeah, my opinion, yes, Outriders is trying to go head-to-head with these games, despite, of course, not having a live service approach. It has a live service approach to fixing bugs, or trying to fix bugs, and updating the game, but no, DLC yet. Of course, we want the big expansions. I'm curious to see what happens with that. But anyway, it's definitely interesting with the numbers. It shows that this game is really trying to have that staying power despite the issues. I could just feel it hanging on for dear life right now, and it's such a shame People Can Fly and Square Enix have gone so quiet as to what is going on with the restoration process and, future updates. Again, honestly, my opinion is, yeah, the restoration, it might even take longer than they anticipated. Get the, rewards out right now, the appreciation package. Even if they don't label as an appreciation package, they need to start doing, like, weekend events with this game or something, like double legendary chance on certain expeditions. That's just my opinion. Reward the players. Alright, let's keep going. Let's talk about this really cool tool that was recently discovered. This comes from Bozified, who says this, Outriders Maximum Weapon Firepower Calculator. He says this, I've seen people make spreadsheets and whatnot, but a lot of them were really not as precise and easy to use, so I built a tool to tell you if a weapon in between levels might be a potential god roll. I've measured every multiplier from the actual game as data points and built an attractive tool, so this is as precise as it gets. It should be super easy for everyone to check. If you have issues or bug or something, hit me up. It's still a work in progress, but hopefully by the end of this week I'll add all other multipliers for other weapon types as well. So let's check it out. So this is the tool right here. It's really cool. I'm going to zoom in here a little bit more. Yeah, so you can pick the weapon that you have, of course, and then more weapon types are coming, and then you can put in the rarity that you have here, and then your level, and of course your firepower as well, whatever, and then you calculate, and then it gives you the numbers. It is a really freaking awesome tool, and I think it can help you guys out. Of course, hopefully they extend it out. They should definitely do that. Now, this is an interesting one right here. People Can Fly made some statements about item restoration and inventory restoration, and it's kind of haunting the community right now, and of course haunting the developers. It says, you needn't be concerned. It won't be a month-long process, and this was stated quite some time ago right there. Now, we have the meme, of course. We got memes. So People Can Fly has no idea how to restore our white characters. Change my mind. So this is how a lot of the community is feeling right now. It's just the way people are feeling about the game, and I'm thinking there are problems that they are running into that they didn't expect to run into, and yeah, It's holding things up big time. They need to get the ball rolling on this one. And the problem is, you go back to their statement saying that this isn't a live service, and I think that statement alone is like, hey, we don't have to do much. We said already this isn't a live service game, and that, I hope that they have the attitude that they will be coming back and they will be, you know, addressing issues and, of course, patching the game until it really, really works. Their silence is just absolutely gut-wrenching and deafening for a lot of us, including myself. Now, my most recent video was called The Following, and we're going to go into top comments right now, so let's do this. Remember, leave a comment down below. It could end up right here in a future video. So this was my most recent video. It says, next big step, dev team's silence is deafening, but don't panic, here's why. And of course, it was a holiday recently in Poland, and people can fly. They're based out in Poland, of course, so I'm hoping that's a reason why they have been so silent during the work week, work day, when a lot of us are expecting news. But anyway, let's keep going. We're going to scroll down to the top comments and see what you guys had to say. We have Valdez Clemens, who says, yeah, we're not panicking, we're moving on. So a lot of you feel like it's time to move on from Outriders. Shal says, I know, a perfect song to tell you how I feel about Outriders right about now. I Don't Care Anymore by Phil Collins. I hear you, man. John says, if it's not fixed before the new releases, then it will end up like Anthem. I totally agree. Like, these new releases will be coming up here, and they got to get this addressed. And we're going to have tons of announcements here in May. I guarantee you, it's just going to happen. That's how it is every single year. And then I'm curious to see what is actually announced, honestly. So I'm kind of excited for that. But anyway, Dan Hardy says, I must just be old, but I remember a day when you could just go buy a game. And it worked. Those were the good old days. Nicholas Gordon says, the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world that this wouldn't be a live service game. And then Lawrence Bell says, I've about a week left. The new season of Destiny's drop. Yeah, see, people are going to go back to Destiny. They're going to go back to something that actually works. At least Destiny works, I think, half the time, or most of the time. At least more so than Outriders. You don't have to worry about having your inventory completely disappear. Let's just say that in Destiny. But there you guys have it. Thank you all so much for the comments, for watching the videos. I plan to introduce new games into the rotation soon. I'm looking at some stuff. I'm really curious about some projects that are being worked on all over the place, honestly. So it's going to be, I think it's going to be a really cool year in terms of announcements. Doesn't mean a lot of games will be releasing this year. I think the big year will be 2022 because of the pandemic and things being delayed. But yeah, we should be getting some cool teases at the very least. And yeah, some cool games, don't get me wrong, fall 2021. But stay tuned here for more open world gaming goodness. And of course, Outriders news updates. I have you guys covered on that one. But thanks for watching again, and I will see you next time. Take care.